I see a lot of people making the claim that wokeness is dead or dying. And unfortunately, if you go on Twitter, this justifies a lot of infighting amongst right-wingers. All of a sudden, there's some, not all, but like some right-wingers that are embracing censorship, thinking that the battle is over and now they can move in and dominate the culture. But the reality is that wokeness is not dead. Just because companies don't hoist up the rainbow flag anymore, and just because you don't get to see as much homosexuality in commercials as we used to, that only means that the superficial aspects, the most visible aspects of wokeness are gone. But if you look at the legislation in some nations like Canada, Australia, the European Union, you will notice that a lot of woke issues are now codified into law. And people can be arrested if they're too anti-woke. While in the United States, it's at the bureaucracy level. And so here I have a video. I took it from Asmongold because I couldn't find the original source for the video. But let's hear it, and then we can expose just how bad things really are.
Saw this. A lot of people are talking about this clip.
Kentucky Democrat Representative Sarah Stalker argues against the ban of DEI programs in schools.
What teachers have spoken to that have expressed that it is affecting their ability to teach?
I've talked to several teachers. They'll never say who they are because their job would be at risk when you're...
Can you imagine this? How can you have a democracy, and how can you actually arrive to the good ideas if already people are afraid of losing their jobs for talking about things outside of their jobs, for talking about things with their representative? Like the culture of terror that exists is astonishing.
Teaching a student about why there's an issue with being white. Those are ideas and concepts. We shouldn't make anyone feel bad about how they were born.
I think we're missing an incredible opportunity right now. I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about...
Yeah, I mean, the school system used to be about teaching the ABCs, and now it's about teaching the LGBTs, and it's a great opportunity that the government can take money from people and then use that money in order to indoctrinate children into whatever party ideology happens to be at the moment. And I want to point out that Americans don't realize how lucky they are with homeschooling. Like, you're probably one of the luckiest nations on planet Earth that you can just bypass all of this government institutionalization of children and allow them to have a happy childhood. I can't do that with my kid. Like, I actually have to subject him to 8 hours a day of pain and misery, doing shit that he's never going to need, because I don't have homeschooling in my country. And just so you know, a lot of people used to laugh at the individuals that would homeschool. They would call them Bible thumper or crazy people. I think that now people need to laugh at individuals that can afford not to homeschool and choose to send their kids to this madness.
About being white every day. For a lot of reasons, because it's a point of privilege that I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do. And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege.
That's not true. Women have way more privileges in today's culture. It's not even close.
I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin.
See, these are the people that we have to completely remove from the public space, non-violently. They are racist, and they want to indoctrinate your children into generational guilt for something that they didn't do.
Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say, you shouldn't feel bad, so we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, is a 6-year-old going to understand that the English Empire stopped slavery? And are the schools actually teaching them that? I mean, this is why children are very easily indoctrinated by revolutionary governments. Whether they're the Nazis, the fascists, the Soviets, like, it doesn't matter. The reason you can indoctrinate children is because they're still learning things, and they don't have a basis. Like, this is why you don't go to adults with this bullshit. But I want to point out that this actually backfires. Like, they're not getting what they're expecting. See, in theory, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, you teach little Jimmy about his privilege, and all of a sudden, little Jimmy is going to be very empathetic, compassionate, and a good ally. that's not how human nature works, I'm afraid. And if we look at history and we look at every single culture that existed and will exist, you will notice that people actually fucking love their privileges. They really, really care about their privileges. I mean, for fuck's sakes, in a medieval society, whenever the king took away some of the nobility's privileges or he took away some of the burghers' privileges, he would get riots. He would get subversion efforts. He would get the nobles pumping money into whomever was resisting the king, or they would try to create revolutions. Like, people really, really love their privileges. And it kind of makes sense because human nature is built around having individuals care about themselves first and foremost due to the sense of self-preservation. Then they will care about their family, especially their children, and then about their close circle of friends. And, you know, the list goes on, but basically, the further away someone is from their family, the less likely they are to care. And so, when you say to little Billy that back in the 90s, if he was born, he would have had all of these privileges. Like, the way they're painting the picture is like little Billy would have been an emperor. And, like, everywhere he wanted, all the doors would open. Everything would be granted for him. And now in 2025, he looks at the job market and he's being taken over by AI. He's being taken over by H-1B visas. His wages are being depressed because of illegal immigrants and all of that. And you're basically saying, no, like, listen, this is a good thing. Like, this is how things are going to be from now on. Not just for you, but for your children and your grandchildren. Well, the question little Billy is going to have is like, who the fuck did this to me then? Who did this to me? And it's going to be, well, this lady, the government did this to you. Why did they do this to you? Well, to protect the other people. Well, fuck that shit. Let's get the system back running. Like, right? Because, like, every single person is going to be in their self-interest and that of his family. Like, how can you justify to little Billy that his daughter needs to be unemployed and on benefits because the government keeps that happening since his daughter is white? And so, yeah, you can get kids just fine, and you can teach them about the LGBTs, and you can teach them about their privilege, but I don't think they're going to reach the conclusion that you actually expect them to reach. And more importantly, you know, then they go with foreign policy, and they look at a conflict like Israel and Palestine, and, you know, they're going to tell the taxpayer money that, well, we now need to fund some of the activity that's happening there. And the taxpayer is going to be, well, hold on a little bit, like, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy? Well, I was told that white people have privilege. I'm looking at Benjamin Netanyahu. He seems pretty cisgender, straight and white to me. Like, this is the privileged guy, right? Like, he's got the wealth. Who is he fighting? Oh, he's fighting people that are Muslims and they're oppressed and, I mean, right? And then the Democrats are Pikachu face when their entire university start burning, and it's like, oh, what the fuck? Why is it that our leftist individuals that were raised on social justice and understanding privileges and shit, why are they siding against our foreign policy? Oh, we need more censorship. That's what we need. We need to crack down on tourism. We need to crack down on visas. We need to start cracking down on these people that are having the wrong ideas, you know, coming to the wrong conclusions because we pushed the wrong worldview on them. And it's also fascinating, you know, because, like, if they would have let things be the way they were, where in the 90s you were told that if you work hard, you can actually get someplace, and it wasn't about privilege, it was literally about, yeah, like, if you didn't get the job, it's because you weren't qualified. And so that causes a lot less resentment because it opens the door to the possibility that, okay, well, maybe if I work harder, maybe if I improve myself, eventually I can get a job. But if you're basically telling them, like, no, you're not getting the job because your skin color is wrong, your parents had privilege, and now the government needs to have, like, certain seats allocated for people that are born differently, well, there is no out of this system, right? Like, there is nothing you can do. And so, yeah, it breeds resentment, and they're not getting what they're expecting with their propaganda. Like, propaganda needs to actually comply to reality. But the problem is, as I mentioned before, it's already codified in law. And people that think, oh, the battle is over, we can go home, like the woke have been defeated. Just wait until another Democrat wins an election. And then you'll see. Then you see like all the laws that they've made and all the laws that have been made which can be repurposed by the Democrats are definitely going to be repurposed. And as I mentioned before, in the European Union, like this is already codified into law in many nations. So the left actually did win the battle that matters, and that's the bureaucratic battle, as well as the legal one. In America, they didn't manage to do as much damage because the US has a constitution that they absolutely despise, but they still managed to get in at the ground level, especially in the bureaucracy, like as you can see with the school teachers and all of that. And they're doing damage. They're doing damage. And in the case of the school systems, I don't think they're actually doing as much as they want, but there's other areas where they are. So no, the battle is absolutely not over. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.